checking in. Spiritual healing. It is known as the highest form of mediumship. Yes, you got that right, the highest form of mediumship. But what is it? What is spiritual healing? Who is it for? And how do we get it? So Rob, I know you've had a lot of history of doing healing work.
Yes.
Being very young. So what is spiritual healing?
Spiritual healing, often people talk about laying on of the hands and healing. But as soon as we talk about healing, people immediately jump into physical conditions and healing physical conditions. And healing is a much vaster area than the healing of laying on hands. So to give you an idea, in our little church, when you're laying on hands in there, as a medium, all healers are mediums. I say that simply because what a medium is, basically when you're laying on your hands, you are receiving, or you are, through you, healing to the person you've got the hands on. It's always coming from those on the other side, those in spirit. This is where the healing is coming from. Obviously, we want the patient to get better, so we're helping, but the energy is coming from the other side. Now, what is taking place when you're putting your hands on someone? Often, as a medium, you will sense people around them. Okay. From the other side. Sometimes you do sense it, sometimes you don't sense anything like that. Other times you have your hand on, you can sense the energy going through. Sometimes if someone's got a bad knee or something or other, whatever their problem is, and you put your hands near there, you can feel the energy going in it. So you know it's taking place. It doesn't mean they're suddenly going to get cured, but they are being helped. Some of the people with hands-on healing in the church, I remember one lady regularly come in and she had a very bad back. And after healing, she was so grateful, and she had no pain for 4 days, and then it would come back again. So we can't always answer why this is taking place, but every week she has come in. When you're giving her healing, you can sense those coming through. They do all that they can. And you'll often have the case where someone will come into the church. I can remember quite a few different cases where they haven't slept for months. They're worried about this or they're worried about that. And they come and have some healing, and then they phone up the next day and they're amazed. For the first time for 6 months, they've had a good night's sleep. Oh. So there's all these different ways that it is taking place, but people need healing in different ways. You know, some people can worry so much, they can get traumatized and be dramatic, but you know, when people are committing suicide, it's because they are so worried, it's because they are so depressed. On that type of thing, healing can make a big difference.
Right.
You can't necessarily describe what is taking place. You'll have people come into the church, and these can be very stressed people, but every week they come for the healing. And with some people, this is the only time they get peace and quiet in their life.
Right.
We've all got different lives, we've all got different things taking place. And just to have that peace and quiet and healing once a week can make all the difference. So that's what it's about. But and this is what I'm sensing when I'm giving healing. But the other thing that happens all the time is when you're giving clairvoyance to someone. Now, yes, clairvoyance is a form of healing when a loved one is coming through and saying...
Giving the messages and giving people
telling
peace.
them I'm proud of you and everything else. This is a form of healing. Sometimes people will come to me for clairvoyance where they've lost a loved one, or again, someone could have lost their life too soon or committed suicide, whatever it is. Someone like that coming in, if you like, has a massive weight on their shoulders and they're worried about them, and you can give a clairvoyant message to them, and that completely take the weight off their shoulders.
Right.
Sometimes even the people that come through will describe to a degree, because they can only do so much, what they're doing on the other side.
Right.
But we're physical, so it's very difficult for them to explain a world that isn't physical. So that can come through. But what is happening with all the time with clairvoyance, even the simple messages that come through, and it's quite logical when you think about it. You have your loved ones here on the earth plane. You have your children, you have your grandparents, whatever. You love them all. And if any of them have got a problem, you would automatically help them or any way you possibly can. And then when someone dies and they pass over in the next world, a lot of people here in the physical will say, oh, they're at peace now, but they almost cut them off. Like, you know,
they're safe, but they don't actually exist in my life anymore. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is it. The whole thing, they think they don't exist. But they come through time and time again. And they will help us, our loved ones, in any way they possibly can. So remember, they're learning things over there about healing and how to help people. And they want to draw close to you. But if you shut them off like they don't exist, or they're in a different place, I'm here, they're there, we're in two different places, They can't draw that close to you.
So we can put up a barrier which we can prevent.
Absolutely. We don't even know we're doing it. We say, oh, they're at peace now, that's fine, I'll get on with my life. But the thing is, when you pass over there, you don't stop loving your loved ones. You don't stop loving those guys.
Of course.
And we know there's life after death, otherwise you can't do clairvoyance and everything else. So they are desperate to draw close to you. So when you do hands-on healing, the door is opened and they can draw close. They can draw close to you because if someone walks into our church or any church looking for healing, as they walk through the doors of the church, they're opening themselves up to it because they're asking to have healing.
Right.
They may not have any understanding or religion or anything else whatsoever.
So they're open.
But they're open
yeah.
because they've walked through the doors and they're asking for healing. And that's when the loved ones can draw close. But at the same time, in our normal lives, whatever we're doing, they want to help us. They want to draw close. And the message comes through all the time, ask for help. And we're useless at it. We're absolutely useless.
Right.
So your mother or grandmother will be there. And if you've got a problem in your life or something or other and you don't know what to do, ask for help. And they will give you healing. They will do their best to calm you down. They may even put a thought into your mind. If you've got a big problem, you say, oh, please help me, please help me. Because you're asking for help, they will draw close to you. They're not going to start talking to you and saying, now do this,
right.
because we have free will. They can't do it.
And this is our experience. We have to...
Absolutely. This is our experience when we're in the physical. We've got to do it. We can have prayers from them. They can calm us down. They can send healing to us all the time, especially if we ask for them to draw close. And the other thing they can do, as we've mentioned before in these videos, they can put thoughts into your mind. So if you've got a big problem in your life, you think, I don't know what to do. If you say to Granny, whoever, please help me on that, they can put a thought into your mind. Not telling you what to do, they can put a thought into your mind or, you could try this, whatever. Then it's your free will where you take any notice of that thought.
Right, so they're going to have a different perspective, really, and see
Completely
much more
different
clearly.
perspective.
Same with healing, they'll have a clearer perspective. Those who come will be able to see more clearly what can be done from their perspective, as we're a little blind.
And absolutely, their perspective is the biggest perspective, is what I mean. So you, for example, you could have two choices in front of you. You could have a work choice which is going to stress you out so much that you're going to be ill, or you could have another choice which is much calming. You may feel, I must do that one, I must do this one, I must do that. They could put a thought in your mind, simply, this will do you more good. If you're a much calmer person, you can help more people. Now, you may not even know that thought came from them. That's not the point. But that thought can come into your mind, and then your free will may choose that path because it's better for you. You're not going to get stressed and ill. So it's your free will to do it, but they've helped you no end because they put the thought into your mind. And that's what they can do. They can calm you down, they put the thoughts in your mind, but it's far easier to do this if you ask for help.
Which is the biggest thing. And for those people the other side, obviously our loved ones want to help us, but are there people or those the other side that are quite more advanced, I could say, that and can they help? Are there those that would specifically help in healing people?
Yes, they are. I mean, often
people talk of angels all the time. We hear this all the time in our world. Angels. Are there healing angels? Is there such a thing? Or
yes, whatever name you want to call them. When you go over to the other side, you carry on progressing. We will, but then you move on to another world. You carry on progressing. So to answer your question, there are those evolved souls. You'd often see them, if anybody sensed them, as white people, if you like. They're shining, whatever. You think, oh, angel. They wouldn't see themselves as an angel. They're just more on that pathway of learning and understanding, becoming a nicer person. And because of that, they're more powerful as healers. So when you're doing hands-on healing, the loved ones would come in automatically, but you would ask for healers to draw close. And if you're religious, we're Christians, we would ask for the power of Jesus and the healing to come in. But it doesn't matter what religion you are, nearly all religions, the healing aspect is there, and you pray to wherever you think the healing's coming from. But it's you asking for the healing to draw close. You asking for the more advanced or evolved souls to draw close. And what tends to happen, your loved ones will be there doing what they can, but they're not that advanced. But of course, your loved ones will be there doing the same as you, saying prayers, asking for the more advanced souls to draw close, more advanced. So it comes in. So you open yourself up to healing, then a medium, a healer, is a medium worth his salt. He will immediately say prayers and ask for other ones, more advanced souls that you're talking about, angels, to draw close, and then all the energy can come in.
Right. And if someone has no belief at all, doesn't believe, can they still receive healing?
Yes. Yeah, no, they can still receive healing. You don't have to have a belief. If you understand that clairvoyance takes place, which it does, if you can just accept there is another world after this world, and your loved ones, it's quite logical, are not going to leave you alone when they die. They want to help you. Knowing that your loved ones want to help you. If you go to see a healer and have hands-on healing, or we do healing over Zoom nowadays, it's the same idea, because we're saying the prayers and we're drawing them close. By asking for it with no belief at all, no religious belief at all, you can still receive healing, but you've got to ask.
So you can do what they call distance or remote healing, I believe. You don't even have to be with the person. It is possible to receive and to give healing if you choose, and you don't have to be next to someone. You
don't have to have the hands-on healing. You used to think we all used to do that, but with our church, with the Zoom healing now, we have people who used to be in this area, and we contact them on Zoom, and we say a prayer to them, and we're giving them healing. And it's amazing what they receive. We do it for 5 minutes, but we ask them to relax for 15 minutes. And it's fascinating, because sometimes when you're giving healing, you can sense people around yourself where you are, but they move to where that person is. And sometimes, because they're in their own house, because they are relaxed in their own house, and there's no one else, that's the most relaxed place they can be, and they've just asked for healing, and being very relaxed and asking, and then you can send this energy, this healing to them. And often after 5 minutes we finish it, but we ask them to sit there, and often for 10 to 15 minutes they are totally relaxed and feel much better afterwards. So that can really take place. It happens.
Okay. And if somebody wants true spiritual healing, where do they find it?
There are.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there, Rob. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. How do people find true spiritual healing?
Very good question.
I'm sorry to give
I know, it is. There's a lot of churches out there, spiritualist churches, whether they are Christian spiritualists or not, who offer healing.
Okay.
So that would be a good place to start, because it's a funny old world and there's all sorts of people out there.
Especially under this heading. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. But most of it is if it's recommended. If you know someone who's gone for healing and they recommend a good healer, that's the person to go to. Because there's also the situation, even in the little church that we run, the healers are all dedicated people, all doing it for the right reason. But some patients seem to click better with some healers than some of the other healers. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with any of them or anything else.
Just a better combination, perhaps.
Better combination, they click for whatever the reason is, and we're all different. We're all different. Mm-hmm. And that's absolutely fine. So it's one, being open to it, asking for it, and then go to a place where healing is taking place. And also, the thing is, you have to use your common sense. If you walk into a place that you're not used to, and people are getting healing, and they're happy, and they're friendly, and everything else, that's fine. But if you walk in somewhere, and the first thing they say is, give us £100 or something, sit down. I know. I know. See, what I'm saying is, if it feels wrong or they're acting wrong, leave.
Right, and I guess by the same token, there are a lot of healthcare providers or people that help people, nursing care, that want to maybe give spiritual healing and would like to learn that. And by the same token, maybe they should go to the same kind of places to see if they can learn.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so many nurses and people that you're talking about are healers. It's as simple as that.
Healers, yeah.
They're naturally
carers
healers
as well. When you think
this is it. They're in that position because they care, because they want to help people. And whether they realise it or not, they are open to those in spirit, and they want to help. And simply walking to the side of someone's bed, holding their hand on the shoulder, how are you today? They are giving healing.
And it will come from the loved ones.
Absolutely. Automatically, it will come through. Yeah.
Well, we are out of time. So spiritual healing, fascinating, huge subject. If you've got any questions about what's been talked about today, or you have any stories, please share them with Rob. His email is at the end of this segment. We know your time is precious. Thanks so much for stopping by.